All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Naresh Mago and with me is Saira Mushtaba. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launches projects worth over 1800 crore rupees in Varanasi. Says for his government, development means empowerment of poor, downtrodden, tribal and mothers and sisters. Prime Minister to address first Arun Jaitley Memorial Lecture in New Delhi this evening. Indian Army set to start recruitment rallies under Agnipath scheme from next month. Centre approves infrastructure project worth over 2,414 crore rupees to connect Haryana with upcoming Jewar Airport in western Uttar Pradesh. Enforcement Directorate says Vivo India remitted 62,476 crore rupees to China to avoid taxes. External Affairs Ministry says companies that operate in India need to follow the law of the land. Boris Johnson resigns as Prime Minister of Britain. New Delhi says change in leadership will not impact India-UK ties. In cricket, India beat England by 50 runs in first T20 international of three-match series in Southampton. And in tennis, Rafael Nadal withdraws from Wimbledon ahead of semi-final against Nick Kyrgios due to injury. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated and laid the foundation stone of multiple development projects worth 1,800 crore rupees in his parliamentary constituency Varanasi yesterday. He also inaugurated the three-day Akhil Bharatiya Shiksha Samagam in his parliamentary constituency. Addressing a gathering at the Dr. Sampurnanand Sports Stadium, the Prime Minister elaborated on the development works being done in Varanasi. He said Kashi has showcased to the country that new age development can take place while preserving the heritage. He said the initiatives launched will help in creating future-ready infrastructure and will enhance the ease of living. He said for the government, development is not just glitter, but it means empowerment of the poor, downtrodden, deprived, backward, tribal, mothers and sisters.
हमारे लिए विकास का अर्थ है गरीब, दलित, वंचित, पिछड़े, आदिवासी, माताएं, बहनें, इन सबका सशक्तिकरण, हर गरीब परिवार को पक्का घर देना और हर ग्रामीण परिवार को पाइप के पानी से जोड़ना, इन संकल्पों पर हम तेजी से काम कर रहे हैं.
The Prime Minister said that Kashi has always been alive and in constant flux. Now Kashi has shown a picture of the whole country which has heritage as well as development. The Prime Minister said that schemes and projects of thousands of crores of rupees have been completed and many are going on.
काशी में एक प्रोजेक्ट खत्म होता है तो 4 नए प्रोजेक्ट शुरू हो जाते हैं. काशी में सड़क, पानी, बिजली, स्वास्थ्य, शिक्षा, स्वच्छता और सुंदरीकरण से जुड़ी हजारों करोड़ रुपए की परियोजनाएं पूरी हो चुकी है. हजारों करोड़ रुपए के प्रोजेक्ट पर यहां काम लगातार जारी है.
Governor of Uttar Pradesh, Srimati Anandiben Patel, and Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, were among those present on the occasion. At the outset, the Prime Minister thanked the people of Uttar Pradesh and Kashi for the massive support they gave in recent elections. Earlier, the Prime Minister addressed educationists at the Rudraksh Convention Centre in the city. He said the new National Education Policy 2020 has been brought after broad deliberations. He said it aims to elevate education from the narrow mindsets and link it to modern ideas. He added the National Education Policy NEP aims to link skills and education to future requirements of the 21st century.
राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति का मूल आधार शिक्षा को संकुचित सोच के दायरे से बाहर निकालना और उसे 21वीं सदी के आधुनिक विचारों से जोड़ना है. हमारे देश में मेधा की कभी कोई कमी नहीं रही है.
The Prime Minister also inaugurated the Akshay Patra Midday meal kitchen in Varanasi. The automatic kitchen will cater to around 150 government schools and has the capacity of cooking midday meals for around 1 lakh students. The Prime Minister will attend the first Arun Jaitley Memorial Lecture, AJML, in New Delhi this evening. He will also address the gathering during the event. Department of Economic Affairs has organized the first Arun Jaitley Memorial Lecture in recognition of his invaluable contribution to the nation. The keynote address will be delivered by Senior Minister from Government of Singapore, Tharman Shanmugaratnam, on growth through inclusivity through growth. Prime Minister Modi will also interact with the delegates participating in the Kautilya Economic Conclave KEC, a 3-day event being organized from today. Eminent economists with whom the Prime Minister will meet include Anne Kruger of Johns Hopkins University, Nicholas Stern from London School of Economics, Robert Florence from Harvard Kennedy School, former acting managing director of the International Monetary Fund, John Lipsky, and World Bank Country Director for India, Junaid Ahmed, among others.
News just in, former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is reported to have been shot at during a speech in the city of Nara in western Japan. Initial reports say he may have been injured. An NHK reporter on site heard something that sounded like a gunshot and saw Abe bleeding. Back home, Indian Army is set to start recruitment rallies for soldiers under the Agnipath scheme from next month. As per a zone-wise schedule released by the Army, the rallies will begin from 12th of August and go on till December across the country, covering all districts. The drive will also include rallies to recruit women Agniveers. The Army will recruit women Agniveers only in the Corps of Military Police or CMP. The plans are to induct 1,700 women into the CMP in a phased manner. While announcing the Agnipath scheme last month, the government had said that 46,000 soldiers will be recruited under the scheme this year. Out of these, 40,000 vacancies will be for the Army and 3,000 each for the Indian Air Force and the Navy. The government said vacancies for Agniveers will grow over the next few years. The centre has approved an infrastructure project worth over 2,414 crore rupees to connect Haryana with the upcoming Jewar Airport in western Uttar Pradesh. Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari said this in a series of tweets. He said in a series of tweets that government has approved construction of a road linking Haryana to the Jewar International Airport in Gautam Budh Nagar district of UP. Mr. Gadkari said it will provide greenfield connectivity to Jewar Airport from DND Faridabad Ballabgarh bypass KMP link. He said construction of 2 flyovers of 2.5 km length at Kushinagar have also been sanctioned to be completed within 18 months. He said these projects will help in smooth movement of domestic and foreign tourists and solve the problem of traffic jams for the local people.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has emphasized upon optimal utilization of resources for industrial corridors. She said this while chairing the first meeting of the Apex Monitoring Authority, constituted to review the activities of National Industrial Corridor Development Program. Ms. Sitharaman said, PM's Gati Shakti National Master Plan is expected to bring about greater coherence in all investments in infrastructure projects. She asked the Niti Aayog to map all the different projects such as industrial corridors, freight corridors, defense corridors, PM Mitra parks, medical and pharma parks and logistic parks to explore the possibility of bringing them under PM Gati Shakti. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal said there is need to focus on attracting investors quickly in these industrial corridors. He asked National Industrial Corridor Development and Implementation Trust and states to have roadshows to attract businesses. He added that states must find ways to make land and electricity reasonably priced to attract investment.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launches projects worth over 1,800 crore rupees in Varanasi. Says for his government, development means empowerment of the poor, downtrodden, tribal and mothers and sisters. Prime Minister to address first Arun Jaitley Memorial Lecture in New Delhi this evening. Indian Army set to start recruitment rallies under Agnipath scheme from next month. Centre approves infrastructure project worth over 2,414 crore rupees to connect Haryana with the upcoming Jewar Airport in western Uttar Pradesh. Enforcement Directorate says Vivo India remitted 62,476 crore rupees to China to avoid taxes. External Affairs Ministry says companies that operate in India need to follow law of the land. Boris Johnson resigns as Prime Minister of Britain. New Delhi says change in leadership will not impact India-UK ties. In cricket, India beat England by 50 runs in first T20 international of the three-match series in Southampton. And in tennis, Rafael Nadal withdraws from Wimbledon ahead of semi-finals against Nick Kyrgios due to injury. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
बर्फ से ढके पहाड़,
हवा के साथ झूमते चीड़ चिनार,
झीलों पर तैरते शिकारे,
हरी भरी घाटियों के दिलकश नजारे।
आकाशवाणी समाचार आपके लिए लेकर आया है जम्मू कश्मीर विशेष श्रृंखला एक नई सुबह।
हम बात करते हैं विकास की, निवेश की,
पर्यटन की, संस्कृति की
और रोज हो रहे बदलावों की। FM गोल्ड पर सुनिए हर शुक्रवार रात 9:15 पर आकाशवाणी समाचार की विशेष प्रस्तुति
जम्मू कश्मीर एक नई सुबह।
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
Reinforcement Directorate ED has said that the mobile phone maker Vivo India has remitted about 62,476 crore rupees to China between 2017 and 2021 to avoid paying taxes in India. The ED said 18 companies that were incorporated fraudulently helped the smartphone maker to transfer 50% of the turnover outside India, mainly China. The agency said so far 119 bank accounts of entities with a gross balance of 465 crores have been seized under the provisions of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act (PMLA). The External Affairs Ministry said the Chinese companies operating in India need to follow the law of the land. MEA spokesperson Narendra said the Indian authorities are taking steps in the case in accordance with the law of the land.
All I would say, look, Indian companies who operate here otherwise need to follow the law of the land, and I think our legal authorities are taking steps as per the law of the land. ऐसा कोई हमारे पास इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं आया है अथॉरिटीज से कि हम अभी चाइना से इस मुद्दे पे बातचीत करें, पर ये लीगल इशू है। अगर वो कुछ पूछे तो फिर हमारा सिस्टम होता ही है म्यूचुअल लीगल असिस्टेंस का।
Boris Johnson has decided to resign as the British Prime Minister. Mr. Johnson announced his resignation as the Conservative Party leader after he was abandoned by his close allies in the wake of a series of scandals that rocked his government. 58-year-old Johnson said he will continue to serve as the Prime Minister of the UK until the Conservative Party chooses his successor.
In politics, no one is remotely indispensable, and our brilliant and Darwinian system will produce another leader equally committed to taking this country forward through tough times, not just helping families to get through it, but changing and improving the way we do things, cutting burdens on businesses and families, and yes, cutting taxes, because that is the way to generate the growth and the income we need to pay for great public services.
Johnson's resignation will trigger a fierce leadership battle within the Conservative Party, with MPs in the process of putting themselves forward for the race. India has said that the resignation of British Prime Minister Boris Johnson will not impact its relationship with the UK, as both countries share a close, multifaceted partnership. Replying to a question during a press briefing in New Delhi yesterday, MEA spokesperson Arinda Bapti said, the resignation of British Prime Minister is an internal development which India is closely watching. He said the UK is an important strategic partner and India has shared a multifaceted partnership and relationship.
UK is an important strategic partner with whom we have a multifaceted partnership and relationship. I think it is important that this will continue. We hope it's based on links at various levels between our two peoples as well as on various other verticals that we discuss as part of our strategic partnership. So we look forward to continuing with that.
India has been elected as a member of the Intergovernmental Committee of UNESCO's 2003 Convention for Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage for the 2022 to 2026 cycle. Culture Minister G. Kishan Reddy said this is yet another opportunity for India to reinstate the values of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The elections took place during the two-day General Assembly of the 2003 convention held at UNESCO headquarters in Paris, which began on the 5th of July. Nearly 1 million people from across the world, including India, will perform the Hajj in Saudi Arabia today. Marking the beginning of the 5-day pilgrimage, Hajj pilgrims converged at the tent city of Mina yesterday. After offering the pre-dawn prayers, they will proceed to the plains of Arafat today for the main ritual of Hajj, reciting prayers. They will spend the day there praying and asking for God's forgiveness. The pilgrims will listen the Khutbah-e-Hajj or Hajj sermon at Nimra Mosque and offer midday and afternoon prayers together before leaving for Muzdalifah in the evening. Tomorrow morning, the pilgrims will return to Mina for the ritual of the animal sacrifice and symbolic stoning of the devil. More than 79,000 pilgrims from India are participating in the pilgrimage after a gap of 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
The Environment Ministry will organize Haryali Mahotsav in New Delhi today to commemorate the 75th year of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. The Mahotsav is being organized to create awareness about the importance of trees and green cover to protect the environment against air pollution and global warming. The event is being held in the presence of Environment Minister Bhupendra Yadav. The program involves plantation activities at 75 city forests alongside 75 kilometers of road length, around 75 police establishments in 75 schools of Delhi and 75 degraded sites across the country. Children from various schools of Delhi and other stakeholders would also be joining the celebrations. And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News, Birth of a Nation.
India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle.
In today's episode, we remember freedom fighter Poosapati Sanjeevi Kumaraswamy Raja, who was born on the 8th of July 1898 at Rajapalayam, Tamil Nadu. He served as the last Chief Minister of Madras Presidency from the 6th of April 1949 to the 26th of January 1950 and first Chief Minister of Madras State from the 26th of January 1950 to the 10th of April 1952.
After schooling, Rajap joined the Indian National Congress and he took a prominent part in panchayat organizations and local board administration. He served as the president of Rajapalayam Union, the Panchayat Court and the District Board of Ramanathapuram.
The lives and writings of Annie Besant and Satyamurthy had great influence on his mind and character in his formative years. Raja met Mahatma Gandhi for the first time in 1919 and was deeply impacted by Bapu's simplicity.
Rajap was arrested for disobeying the unjust laws. He was elected as the leader of Madras Congress Legislature Party in 1939 and took oath as the Premier of Tamil Nadu on April the 6th, 1949. He also served as the Governor of Odisha from 1954 to 1956.
Dedication and selfless service for the people of the country.
He donated his house for starting an institution of culture called Gandhi Kalai Mandiram. Rajap continued to work for the betterment of people till his death on the 16th of March 1957. AIR News salutes the great nationalist.
We also remember freedom fighter Babu Banarasi Das, who was born on the 8th of July 1912 in Bulandshahr district, Uttar Pradesh. He joined the independence struggle in his youth and was jailed several times by the British for his participation in the non-violence movement of Mahatma Gandhi.
After independence, he joined politics and rose to become the 11th Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. We salute the great Indian.
We remember independence activist Lakhana Votra, who died on the 8th of July 1945. A resident of Koraput, Odisha, Votra was involved in the political activities against the colonial rule during the non-cooperation movement days. He actively participated in the Quit India agitation in Odisha and was arrested.
Lakhana Votra and other demonstrators were put behind bars in Nabarangpur sub-jail. Votra suffered on account of the unhygienic living conditions and lack of medical care. He and other political prisoners were shifted to the Koraput district jail, where Lakhana Votra died on the 8th of July 1945. We salute the great martyr.
We also remember Martyr Hira Singh, who was born on the 8th of July 1818 in district Kota, Rajasthan. He was a Rasaldar in the Kota State Army and participated in the military and civil uprising against the British and the Maharao of Kota State during the First War of Independence in 1857. He joined the freedom activists who attacked the political agency at Kota on the 15th of October 1857. He also participated in the siege of Kota Fort in November 1857. Hira Singh was killed while fighting against the troops of the Maharao of Kota. AIR News salutes the brave nationalist.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Welcome back. Home Minister Amit Shah unveiled the Statue of Peace of Swami Ramanujacharya in Srinagar through video conferencing yesterday. Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha, along with saints and followers of Swami Ramanujacharya from across the country, also attended the unveiling ceremony at Suryar Mandir in Srinagar. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Shah said, the establishment of the peace statue in Kashmir is a very auspicious sign for the entire country, especially Jammu and Kashmir. He said when social unity was being broken, many evils were afflicting the society, then Ramanujacharya was sent and he did great work of connecting Vaishnavism with its origin. Mr. Shah said that in 2017, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had sent the message of Bhagavad Ramanujacharya to the country from the ramparts of the Red Fort on 15th August, following which the celebrations of the 1000th birth anniversary of Bhagavad Ramanujacharya took place across the country with the diligence and devotion of Param Pujya G.R. Swami. In cricket, India defeated England by 50 runs in the first T20 International of the three-match series at Southampton last night. Chasing the target of 199 runs, England were bowled out for 148 in 19.3 overs, with Moeen Ali being the top scorer with 36 runs. A brilliant all-round performance by Hardik Pandya was the highlight of the match. He hit his maiden T20 International 50, scoring 51 off 33 balls and bagged 4 wickets. Earlier electing to bat first, India scored 198 for 8 in the stipulated 20 overs. Surya Kumar Yadav made 39 and Deepak Hooda 33. Rohit Sharma played a brisk knock of 24 off 14 balls. In women's cricket, India defeated Sri Lanka by 39 runs in the third and final ODI in Pallikele yesterday. The visitors scored 255 for the loss of 9 in the stipulated 50 overs. Harmanpreet Kaur on 75, Pooja Vastrakar 56 and Shefali Verma 49 were the top scorers for India. In response, the hosts were bowled out, scoring 216 runs in 47.3 overs. Earlier, Sri Lanka won the toss and elected to field. The Indian team won the ODI series 3-0. The visitors had bagged the preceding T20 International series 2-1.
In tennis, Rafael Nadal withdrew from the Wimbledon after failing to recover from an abdominal injury, ending his hopes of a calendar Grand Slam. His semi-final opponent, Nick Kyrgios, will receive a walkover into the Sunday's final, where he will be the winner of semi-final between top seed and six-time champion Novak Djokovic and Britain's Cameron Norrie. Nadal, a 22-time Grand Slam champion, struggled with the injury in a grueling 5-set win against 11-seeded American Taylor Fritz on Wednesday. There is an update on former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was shot at while he was delivering a speech in the western city of Nara this morning. Mr. Abe collapsed on the street after he was shot at while making a speech for a Liberal Democratic Party candidate's election campaign around 8 this morning Indian time. Liberal Democratic Party sources close to Abe said he was shot at in the chest and was taken to the hospital. Police say they have captured a man and are questioning him.
In Karnataka, incessant heavy rains continued in Dakshina Kannada, Uttara Kannada, Udupi, Kodagu, Haveri and Chikmagaluru districts. Revenue Minister R. Ashoka visited the rain-affected areas in Kodagu and Dakshina Kannada districts. He announced 5 lakh rupees as compensation to the next of the kin of the labourers who lost their lives in the landslip in Panjikallu village of Dakshina Kannada yesterday. He also announced 5 lakh rupees as compensation to those whose houses were fully damaged during the rain. Uttara Kannada district in charge Minister Kotta Srinivasa Pujari held a review meeting with the officials. He informed that the district administration appointed nodal officers for 229 Gram Panchayats and 13 town Panchayats. An orange alert has been issued in the Kodagu district, with schools and colleges being closed for today. A red alert has been issued in Uttara Kannada district. In every taluka, control rooms have been opened. Now let us have a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. The minimum temperature was 30 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 40 degrees. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Minimum and maximum temperature will hover between 24 and 26 degrees Celsius. Chennai will have a thunderstorm with rain. The minimum temperature was 26 and maximum will be 34. Kolkata will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. In the south, Visakhapatnam, Hyderabad and Thiruvananthapuram will have a generally cloudy sky. In the northeast, Guwahati will have a partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. The front pages of most dailies are replete with the story of Boris Johnson's resignation. Bojo quits as Tory head, stays on as interim PM, writes the Times of India, while a Hindustan Times headline says, Rishi Sunak among front runners. India can emerge as major centre of global education, says the Statesman. Rupee shows some signs of recovery, writes the Financial Express. A front page story in Business Standard quotes the Enforcement Directorate under the headline, Vivo India transferred 62,476 crore rupees to China to avoid paying taxes. Fresh setback for Udhav Sena in another jolt. 66 of 67 Sena corporators in Thane join Eknath Shinde, writes the Asian Age. The Indian Express has a wedding picture of Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann and his wife under the headline, CM Gets Married.
And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launches projects worth over 1,800 crore rupees in Varanasi. Says for his government, development means empowerment of poor, downtrodden, tribal and mothers and sisters. Prime Minister to address first Arun Jaitley Memorial Lecture in New Delhi this evening. Indian Army set to start recruitment rallies under Agnipath scheme from next month. Centre approves infrastructure project worth over 2,414 crore rupees to connect Haryana with upcoming Jewar Airport in western Uttar Pradesh. Enforcement Directorate says Vivo India remitted 62,476 crore rupees to China to avoid taxes. External Affairs Ministry says companies that operate in India need to follow the law of the land. Boris Johnson resigns as Prime Minister of Britain. New Delhi says change in leadership will not impact India-UK ties. In cricket, India beat England by 50 runs in first T20 International of 3-match series in Southampton. And in tennis, Rafael Nadal withdraws from Wimbledon ahead of the semi-final against Nick Kyrgios due to injury. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.